What's going on, folks? I'm your host, Cardell Dudley, back with another episode of GW Recap. And George Washington, tale of two halves, indeed, man. They allowed 53 points in the second half, and they ended up falling by 23 points to visiting Rhode Island, 88-65. Oh, man. Tough night for the Colonial. But before I get started, we're going to go check in with our, sponsor, Oohs and Ahs. And here's a special announcement for Oohs and Ahs I'm going to play for you guys. So, enjoy.
Happy Black History Month from your favorite chef, Chef O, Oohs and Ahs. Soul food has a deep connection for us in our past, but it also has a deep connection for America in general as America's true cuisine, not hot dogs and hamburgers. From the White House, serving George Washington by Chef James Hemings, to entering the homes of all Americans, soul food is the culture, and Oohs and Ahs is at the pulse, with all your soul food favorites, and we manage these amazing flavors without pork. So make sure you come in and taste the true flavors of DC. Located at 5933 Georgia Avenue Northwest, 1005 U Street Northwest, and coming soon to Glebe Road in Alexandria, Virginia. Happy Black History Month.
So there you have it. Congrats to Oohs and Ahs, man. A new location opening in Alexandria soon. Be on the lookout. But until then, obviously, go ahead, visit Oohs and Ahs. Y'all know the routine. You can visit its two locations, 1005 U Street Northwest, Washington, D.C., or you can go to the dine-in, Oohs and Ahs, at 5933 Georgia Avenue, Washington, D.C. Now, back to GW and Rhode Island. Darren Buchanan led GW with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Max Edwards added 18 points and 6 rebounds. Zach Montgomery led the way with a game high 30 points, 5 rebounds for Rhode Island. Jana House, who's unstoppable, added 23 points. And Louis Courtwright was working on the triple-double with 11 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. It was indeed a tale of two halves, man. The first half, GW shot the ball well. They were 15-31, took a 37-35 halftime lead. But even with that being said, Rhode Island clawed, they scrapped and clawed with their offense maybe not clicking in the half court. They scratched and clawed and made up for it, and, second chance points and bench production. At the end, at halftime, Rhode Island reserves had outscored the with Revolutionaries. My apologies. Outscored the Revolutionaries reserves 15-7, and they also outscored GW in second chance points in 7-3, and they scored 22 points in the paint. Problem with Rhode Island in the first half, they turned it over 10 times, and they were all from three. They were 2 feet 11 from 3-point range, and they struggled defending GW. GW was clicking, man, led by Max Edwards, who I'm happy to see he broke out of his cold slumps over the last few games, which is saying something. He's had a rough go of it, lately. But with that being said, he managed to find his stride in this game, and it was beautiful to see, man. Hit a few threes. He was 2 of 5 from deep, 4 of 8 from the field, had 10 points to lead the way and 3 rebounds. So although Rhode Island was scrappy, they kept themselves in the game by scratch claw and doing the dirty work, scoring off, like I said, the second chance points, and then their bench stepped up, namely Zach Montgomery, who had 11 points in the first half. Then the second half started, and I have no idea what happened with the Colonials, man. With the Revolutionaries, but the Rams, man, they came out locked in defensively, and they took it to GW. I think they started the second half on a 12-2 run, and they never looked back. In the second half, they outscored the Revolutionaries 53-28. Rhode Island shot 18 of 30 from the field, 2 of 5 from deep, made 15 out of 18 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, GW scored 28 points. They shot 10 of 30, shot 0 for 12 from 3, and missed quite a few free throws down the stretch where they might have had a chance to get some momentum. They were 8 of 15 from the free throw line. That just can't happen, man. To end the game, Rhode Island scored 26 points off of 14 GW turnovers. Bench production, they outscored GW 34 to 8. Points in the paint, Rhode Island scored 54 points in the paint. There was just really no resistance from GW. They struggled with their bigger wings. Rhode Island, they may not be the biggest, let's say, at the center spot, but they have wings that 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", they're athletic, versatile, and they can do a lot of things. So, with GW, they were already wounded not having Gary Johnson playing, who's in starting 3. So that hurt a little bit. That hurt their chemistry, and that's another guy that can shoot the ball and help you rebound at 6'8", defend multiple positions, and make plays when needed. That hurt them a lot. You could tell. And Rhode Island took full advantage, led by Zach Montgomery. He wasn't alone. Brandon Weston had a good game. He finished with 12 points and 5 rebounds and 3 assists. And to me, the man of the hour, I know Louis Corwright probably would, if there was a player of the game outside of Zach Montgomery, he would probably be it because he was working on a triple-double. I cannot talk on this broadcast and not mention Jaden House. They literally could do nothing with Jaden House in the second half. Jaden House had 6 points at halftime. He was 3 of 8. Probably an afterthought. They probably obviously a scout, keep an eye on him or whatnot. 6'4", quick, shifty, score from all 3 levels, strong. Second half, he scored 17 points. Second half, 17 points. He didn't hit one three-pointer. Majority of his points was in the paint. GW could not keep him out the paint. He lived in the paint. And if he wasn't scoring, he was getting to the line where he was 3 or 4. He only had 1 assist. He was second on the team in scoring. 17 points in the second half. They could not guard him. Zach Montgomery, I just said he had 11 in the first half, scored 19 in the second half. You do the math. It's 36 points between 2 players in the second half alone. Those 2 players scored 36 of the Rams, 53 points in the second half. They couldn't do anything to contain them. Absolutely nothing. And that's what's disheartening. They have a couple guards that are known as defensive stoppers, and Jacoy Hutchinson and, Trey Autry. They were just too small, to be honest, man. They used the Rams, whether it was Zach, whether it was Weston, whether it was Jaden House. They use their size, use their ball handling, get to their spots, and they just either shot over them or, they gave the ball up and posted them up and went to work. And GW had a double, and they was kicking it out. Guys were getting over shots, and they was making shots. And that's how the game got away from them. And then GW pretty much got overwhelmed, and that was all she wrote. It's just disheartening to see that. They needed a win, especially at home. It's just and being up at halftime. On the road, it's disheartening to see it anywhere, but at home it stings a little bit more because that should never happen at home. So with that being said, this is GW's 5th straight loss. Their 5th straight loss. They're already in the bottom half of the standings. They're going to drop some more. This was a crucial loss. GW finished the game shooting 41% from the field, 17% from deep, 52% from the free throw line. You're not going to win any game shooting 52% from the free throw line. It's just, especially in conference play, it's too hard to overcome. Really only 2 players for the GW did well, and that was Darren Buchanan who's been missing consistent all season. He had 23 points and 9 of 13 shooting, missed some free throws, 5 of 10 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. But he's a redshirt freshman. But he's playing and came out with the energy of an upperclassman. When some of the upperclassmen didn't show up, namely like James Bishop, his struggles continue. He scored 9 points. He was 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from deep, and was in foul trouble. Picked up 4 fouls. Led the way with 5 assists, but it was too little, too late. Also, Max Edwards had a good game. Had 18 points, 7 of 15. It was good to see him get out of something. Like I said, 7 of 15 from the field, but he's 2 of 9 from deep. Maybe his shot selection could have been a little better. That could have helped some things, but 6 rebounds, so to speak. But outside of them, they really didn't get much production from anyone else. Everyone else, Javoy Hutchinson was 1 for 7, who got the start with Garrett Johnson out. Trey Autry is 1 for 6. It was just tough. They couldn't really get offense, and that affected their defense. Meanwhile, Rhode Island was being tough. They was rotating. They was physical. And the thing is, in the second half, when the shots started falling, they didn't relinquish. They didn't stop being scrappy. You know what I'm saying? They kept that same energy that they had in the first half. They kept them in the game. And once they started hitting shots, it was pretty much over. So GW, they have a lot, and I do mean a lot, to figure out over the upcoming days, man. Right now, the A-10 is hell, man. Right now, with this loss, yeah, they are in 12th place. 3-6 and A-10 could play. 14-8 overall. 1-4 away. They have, right now, as of speaking, they have the second longest losing streak in the conference behind St. Louis, who have lost 6 in a row. They've lost 5 in a row. They have to. They got to figure a lot of things out right now before that next game, which is Loyola Chicago, who just happened to be in 3rd place in the A-10 conference. They come in 15-7 overall, but they're 7-2 in the A-10 conference. So that's going to be a tough battle ahead on Saturday. Hey, man, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see if they rebound, see if they figure things out. Hopefully they get healthy. They need Garrett Johnson. They need all hands on deck because they got to start getting some wins. They got to make up ground because you don't want to go to the conference tournament just flounder. That usually leads to an early exit right away. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll be back with another episode of GW Recap soon. Take care. And then make sure you get to the Smith Center and check out GW this upcoming Saturday against Loyola Chicago. Talk to you guys later.